Hey, here's a case of stuff that I'm sending out to a few friends, and I just thought I'd make a little video here because I'd never see them again in all likelihood, and I just kind of wanted to have it so that I could send to the folks that are getting it so they'd kind of know what it is and save me from having to write all day in little bitty letters. Anyway, these are going to a friend who won them in a Facebook drawing I did. And this is just a modern made replica that me and a friend of mine named Wagon John, that's his tuber name, we found a big chunk of this obsidian glass out in the San Joaquin Valley when we were looking up some of this kind of material right here, of this little thing here. That is some stuff called Timbler chert. Sometimes people call it McKittrick. But anyway, we were out there digging out some of that stuff. It comes in slabs in the hillside. You got to dig for it. And we found this, where probably some other guy had been out there digging that stuff, and he'd kind of lost a blank he was making out of obsidian. You know the way nappers do. They always carry around something they're working on. He put it down and didn't find it again. So me and Wagon John spent the day just passing this back and forth. Whoever was kind of taking a break for a minute, we'd sit there and nap away on it. It's no big deal. It's just a dumb thing. Okay, and here is, I'm kind of throwing this in there for comparison. Here is some old obsidian, and you can see the difference on it because old obsidian gets that hydration layer and all of that stuff. Here, this is a broke end off of something that, man, I wish I'd have had it when it was whole. And here is a little piece of Alabates flint. It's just a crude little flake knife. The main thing that's noteworthy about it is it's just cool, pretty Alabates flint. I love Alabates. It's out of about 30 miles out of Amarillo, Texas, where the Alabates flint quarry is. Although there are outcroppings of it some places up along the South Canadian River and as it runs through Oklahoma. But anyway, it's got a little bit of work around that edge, not much. Now, I'm not going to shoot these in any particular order. I'm just going to point them out, and that way whoever the folks are that get this video, I'm going to send it out so it's restricted, so only the people that I share it to are the only. I'm not going to publish this on YouTube or nothing, although it will technically be on YouTube, but it will be with a restricted rating so that no one can find it unless they have the exact URL on it. Okay, but anyway, so here's a little point I found long ago. This is I called them cannelinos forever, and then I realized that they'd come up with a new name called Malaga Coves. And this is one of the ones that made it into Overstreet way back when Bob surprised me one time and called me up out of the blue, scared the bejesus out of me. Took him about 5 minutes to actually go, listen, I didn't introduce myself. Well, I'm Bob Overstreet. I publish a little catalog about arrowheads. And I just stopped him right there and said, yeah, I know who you are now. Anyway, it's in there. A couple of others. These are. I think this one here is too. But what's noteworthy about this one is it's obsidian. But I don't know if my camera's getting it. But if you look down there on that base really carefully, you can see it's still got some of the asphaltum adhering to it. Okay. Now, many of the Malaga Coves in my area are made out of this stuff here, which looks all the world like obsidian, but it's not. It's a stuff called Oak Ridge Glass, also known as Grime Canyon Fused Shale, a total misnomer. It is not made in any way remotely like obsidian is made. This is like some kind of, more like a plastic, some kind of baked, mineralized plastic than a true glass, although they call it glass. It was misidentified as obsidian for 70 or 80 years when it was first into science. Here's another example of some of the red, kind of reddish Grimes Canyon or Oak Ridge glass. Nice little point. And that's also a cantilever. Well, I don't know, that's a triangular one. But now here's a piece of Timbler chert, which is kind of a really unique little stuff. Comes in layers and tabs. Here's another little, this is a good example of how you can't even tell obsidian from the real good Oak Ridge glass that looks like it. But anyway, and yeah, here's a little Malaga Cove out of some kind of crazy agate. Nice little thing here. Okay, what else have I got? Oh yeah, I love this guy. What a cool little triangle. This is a little oaky. But that material is not local to Oklahoma. This guy came in a long way before I found him. And here's a little thing. I'm pretty sure that's one of my little North Carolina finds. Oh yeah. Here's one that I just found a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure. This may be just the tip-off of something a lot bigger. It's got some base damage, but it's still out of kind of a cool material, so I'm sending this to a friend for the heck of it. That's Arizona, incidentally. And now here's just a goofy little thing out of North Carolina, little birdie. Now, I'd like to point out, some of these things here are so small. I'd swear to God they're an argument that those folks use blowguns, especially like that. What would be the point of going to all the trouble to make a tiny, tiny little stone tip like this, you know, for an arrowhead? I'm sure fire-hardened wood, you know, polished and, you know, ground and fire-hardened would work just as well. Probably have about the same weight and everything. I don't know, maybe there was some kind of cultural significance to having a stone tip on one. But this one and this one here both are little quartz from down in San Diego County. Louisiana Indians made these, and the Louisianos were so badass that nobody would trade with them, because you know, any materials that you wore for warfare that you traded with them today, you could be on the receiving end of the next day, kind of a thing. So nobody would trade with the Louisianos. So the only rock they had in their area was quartz, and so they got really good at making quartz. Some of the very few cultures in the West Coast area that use quartz for anything. Now, this little quartz guy here, he's a North Carolina quartz kid. I remember him. And let's see what else. That's a cool little one. This guy is found him up on the, was it the Klamath or the, this was a Columbia River Basin point. I remember it now. Yeah. And here's another little obsidian thing, kind of crude, but he's a Columbia River Basin guy too. And there's some little Mayan beads that are kind of trippy. So whoever gets those, I'm not going to name you here. I don't want to embarrass anybody, because probably three people will maybe be seeing this video. I don't know. But I just kind of wanted to ID everything here for folks. And have a good one.